The rare book of philosophy reveals the hidden force behind creation itself, the power of sacred silence. In stillness, the universe speaks. In listening, you receive. What seems empty is, in truth, overflowing with wisdom. The rare book of philosophy. Introduction. The ancient spoken whispers passing down a sacred truth veiled in silence. Within the stillness lies the seed of all that ever was and all that shall be. Hidden beneath the surface of spoken word is a realm untouched by noise, a place where true transformation begins. Your voice holds power, yes, but it is the space between your words that bends the fabric of reality. The universe moves not in chaos, but in rhythm, in a divine dance of sound and stillness. As the tide retreats before it returns, so too must you learn the ebb and flow of your own energy. Each syllable you speak casts a vibration into the unseen, shaping the world that rises to meet you. But it is in your silence where the currents shift. When you still hold your tongue and calm your thoughts, you enter the stream of pure knowing, the channel through which the infinite speaks. The ancient ones knew silence is not emptiness. It is presence. It is power. Just as stars require darkness to be seen, your words require silence to be understood. And in those sacred pauses, you touch the divine. Here, the law responds not only to your desire, but to your alignment, to the depth of your inner stillness. This is the path of the wise, to speak with intention and to listen with reverence. For in the hush between moments, the mysteries unfold, and through the practice of sacred silence, you become one with the rhythm of creation itself. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1, The Power of Silence. Chapter 1, The Unspoken Wisdom. In a bustling cafe on a narrow street, a young merchant named James sat alone, his untouched coffee growing cold. The din of conversations and clinking cups swirled around him, yet something pulled him into an unexpected moment of stillness. As others rushed to fill every silence with words, he found himself sinking into a rare pocket of quiet amid the chaos. In that moment, James noticed something he had never perceived before. Beneath the surface noise, a deeper current of understanding began to flow. He observed how those speaking the loudest seemed to understand the least, while those who listened intently gleaned wisdom from every interaction. Within the sacred space of silence dwells a power that transcends ordinary understanding. When you quiet your outer voice, the universe reveals its secrets through whispers that only a still mind can perceive. Your words carry energy, yet it's in the spaces between them where truth resides. The ancient masters taught that wisdom flows not from the mouth but through the ears. Each time you choose to listen rather than speak, you open yourself to the universal intelligence that surrounds you. Like a vessel being filled with precious water, your consciousness expands through the practice of receptive silence. Consider the story of Margaret, a wise woman who lived in a village where everyone sought answers to life's challenges. While others offered endless advice, Margaret would sit in her garden, surrounded by flowering plants, and simply listen. Those who came to her found that in her presence, their own inner wisdom would surface naturally. People traveled from far and wide to sit with Margaret, drawn by the peace that emanated from her silent understanding. They would arrive with minds full of questions, yet in the quiet of her garden, answers would arise from within themselves. Margaret had discovered that true guidance comes not from dispensing wisdom, but from creating the space for others to access their own. This tale mirrors the truth that lies within your own journey. When you embrace silence, you create a sacred vessel for divine wisdom to enter. Each moment of conscious quiet becomes an opportunity for the universe to speak directly to your soul. The practice of sacred silence. As the sun rises each morning, find a space where you can sit undisturbed. Allow yourself to sink into complete stillness for 11 minutes. Make no effort to silence your thoughts. Simply observe them as they pass, like clouds across the sky. Notice how wisdom naturally emerges when you cease the constant effort to fill the silence. This ancient practice, passed down through generations of spiritual seekers, will gradually attune you to the whispered guidance of the universe. Let this ritual become your daily gateway to deeper understanding. Through consistent practice, you will discover that silence is not empty. It is filled with the very essence of creation, waiting to share its secrets with those who learn to listen. Chapter 2. Listening to the Inner Voice. As you cultivate the art of silence, a deeper truth emerges. The voice of intuition that speaks through the stillness. Like Emily, a young artist who stood at a crossroads between following a conventional path or pursuing her creative calling, you may find yourself torn between external expectations and internal knowing. For weeks, Emily gathered opinions from family, friends, and mentors about her future. Each voice added to a chorus of conflicting advice until the noise of others' thoughts drowned out her own inner compass. It wasn't until she retreated to a quiet hillside, away from the clamor of the world, that clarity emerged. In the embrace of silence, her path forward crystallized with unmistakable certainty. The universe speaks through the language of intuition. This sacred inner knowing manifests as a gentle nudge, a quiet certainty that transcends logic. When you still hear the endless chatter of the mind, this wisdom flows naturally, guiding you toward your highest good. Like a clear stream reflecting the sky above, a quiet mind mirrors universal truth. External voices may offer guidance, but true wisdom resides within. The answers you seek have always existed in the depths of your being, waiting to be uncovered through stillness. Each time you turn inward rather than outward for direction, you strengthen this connection to your inner knowing. John, a merchant who had lost his way in life, discovered this truth through his morning meditation practice. For years, he had chased success according to others' definitions, accumulating wealth, but feeling increasingly hollow. Through daily communion with silence, he began to hear the subtle promptings of his soul. At first, John's meditation brought only restlessness, but as days turned to weeks, the internal static cleared. One morning, as the sun rose and cast golden light through his window, perfect clarity emerged. His true path had nothing to do with others' expectations. It lay in teaching and sharing the wisdom he had gained through his own struggles. The ancient practice of inner listening. Find a quiet space as dawn breaks before the world awakens. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and your hands resting gently in your lap. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Allow each inhale and exhale to carry you deeper into stillness. As thoughts arise, observe them without attachment, letting them pass like clouds across the sky. Gradually, your mind will settle into natural quiet. From this space of inner silence, pose your question to the universe. Don't strain for answers. Simply remain receptive and alert. Practice this meditation each morning for at least 15 minutes. Trust that as you cultivate inner stillness, the wisdom you seek will arise naturally, like a flower opening to the sun. The more you practice listening to your inner voice, the clearer its guidance will become. Chapter 3: The Strength and Restraint. In ancient times, a wise merchant named William faced a test of character that would shape his destiny. At his bustling marketplace stall, a rival merchant approached, hurling false accusations about stolen goods and tainted merchandise. The crowd gathered, eager for conflict, their energy feeding the tension that crackled through the air. William felt the familiar surge of anger rise within him. Words of defense and counterattack formed on his tongue, ready to burst forth. Yet in that crucial moment, he remembered the teachings of his old master. The tongue holds both poison and medicine. Choose wisely which you will dispense. Drawing a deep breath, William remained silent. He met his accuser's gaze with steady calm, allowing the heated words to dissipate into the air unanswered. The crowd, expecting drama, found only peace. One by one, they drifted away, leaving the angry merchant to confront the power of William's restraint. The strength to hold back words carries more power than any spoken response. Like a mighty river that appears still on the surface while carrying great force beneath, true power often manifests in restraint rather than reaction. When you master the art of holding your tongue, you gain control not only over your words, but over the entire flow of circumstances around you. This truth revealed itself to Sarah, a teacher who discovered the transformative power of silence during a crucial school meeting. As her colleagues engaged in heated debate about new policies, accusations and blame flew across the room. Sarah, though holding strong opinions, chose to wait and observe. As others exhausted themselves with arguments, Sarah's silence created space for reflection. When she finally spoke, hours later, her measured words carried the weight of wisdom. Her restraint had earned her the right to be heard, and her perspective helped bridge the divide between opposing sides. Your words hold immense creative force. Each syllable you utter sends ripples through the fabric of reality, shaping your experience and affecting those around you. By cultivating restraint, you harness this power mindfully rather than dispersing it carelessly. The ancient practice of mindful response. Before each conversation, imagine a golden light filling your throat center. This light represents the sacred power of speech. As others speak, maintain awareness of this light. When you feel moved to respond, pause. Take 3 conscious breaths, allowing the light to grow brighter. Ask yourself, will these words add value to this moment? Do they arise from wisdom or reaction? Only when you feel clear alignment should you allow the light to transform into speech. Practice this pause throughout your day, especially in challenging interactions. Through this practice, you will discover that the space between stimulus and response holds infinite potential. In that gap, you access the wisdom to choose words that heal rather than harm, unite rather than divide, and elevate rather than diminish both yourself and others. Chapter 4: The Art of Listening. In a quiet mountain monastery, a young merchant named Henry sought wisdom from an aging master. Day after day, He watched as people traveled from distant lands to share their troubles with the Master. Yet the Master rarely spoke. Instead, he listened with such complete attention that those who came before him found their own answers emerging from within. Intrigued, Henry approached the Master. "I have watched you for many days. You barely speak, yet people leave transformed. What is your secret?" The Master smiled and gestured for Henry to sit. For the next hour, the Master demonstrated the art of true listening, not just with his ears, but with his entire being. Henry learned that real listening requires more than silence. It demands the suspension of judgment, the quieting of internal dialogue, and complete presence with another's words. When you truly listen, you create a sacred space where understanding can flourish. Your attention becomes a vessel that holds another's truth, allowing it to reveal itself fully. This gift of presence is more valuable than any advice you might offer. Within each human heart lies a deep yearning to be heard, not merely to have words acknowledged, but to be truly understood. When you master the art of listening, you become a keeper of stories, a witness to truth, and a catalyst for transformation. Laura, a village mediator, discovered this power when two families approached her with a generations-old land dispute. Instead of offering solutions, she created space for each side to speak while the other listened deeply. She taught them to repeat back what they heard, to ask questions from curiosity rather than judgment, and to acknowledge the emotions beneath the words. Through this process, something remarkable occurred. As each family felt truly heard, their defenses softened. The real issues, not about land at all, but about honor and respect, emerged naturally. Solutions that had seemed impossible suddenly appeared obvious, born from understanding rather than argument. The ancient practice of deep listening. Find a partner for this sacred exercise in listening. Sit facing each other in a quiet space. One person will speak for 5 minutes about something meaningful to them, while the other practices complete presence. As the listener, focus entirely on the speaker. Notice not just their words, but their tone, their gestures, the emotions flowing beneath their speech. Resist the urge to formulate responses or judgments. When thoughts arise, let them pass like clouds, returning your attention to the present moment. After 5 minutes, repeat back to the speaker what you heard, not just the facts, but the feelings and meanings you sensed. Then switch roles. Practice this exercise daily, gradually increasing the duration. You will discover that true listening is not passive, but a dynamic meditation that transforms both speaker and listener. Chapter 5, Mindful Communication. At dawn each morning, Clara made her way to a tranquil garden where she began her practice of intentional silence. Before engaging with the world, she centered herself in stillness, preparing her mind and heart for the day's interactions. Through this ritual, she discovered a profound truth. The quality of your communication flows directly from your state of presence. When you approach each conversation with mindful awareness, you transform ordinary exchanges into opportunities for genuine connection. Your words become bridges rather than barriers, creating pathways to understanding that transcend mere information exchange. The ancient masters taught that mindful communication rests upon 3 pillars: presence, authenticity, and compassion. When you speak from this foundation, your words carry weight not through force, but through resonance with truth. Thomas, a teacher in a small village school, witnessed this transformation firsthand. Where once his classroom buzzed with scattered energy and misunderstandings, He began incorporating moments of centered silence before each lesson. He taught his students to pause, breathe, and ground themselves before speaking. The change was remarkable. Conflicts dissolved more easily, understanding deepened, and a natural harmony emerged in their interactions. Before responding, he would remind them, "Feel the weight of your words in your heart." This simple practice created space for wisdom to emerge naturally. Through mindful communication, you learn to recognize the subtle currents that flow beneath the surface of conversation. You begin to hear not just what is said, but what remains unspoken. Your awareness expands to encompass both the content of speech and the energy that carries it. Sacred practice for mindful communication. Begin each conversation with a moment of centered breathing. As you inhale, gather your attention. As you exhale, open your awareness to the present moment. Before speaking, pause to feel your words forming. Notice their texture, their intent, their potential impact. Ask yourself, does this communication serve truth and understanding? When listening, maintain gentle awareness of your breath as an anchor to presence. Notice when your mind begins to formulate responses, and gently return to pure listening. After each significant conversation, take a moment to reflect. What energy did you bring to the exchange? What arose in the spaces between words? Let these insights guide your growth in the art of mindful communication. Chapter 6, The Silence Within. In the heart of a bustling city, George sat at his weathered oak desk each morning, pen poised over an empty journal. As the first rays of sunlight filtered through his window, he discovered that true wisdom often emerges not from the noise of the world, but from the depths of inner silence. Through the simple act of putting pen to paper, George began to witness the unfolding of his inner landscape. Each morning's writing revealed layers of thought and emotion previously hidden beneath the surface of daily life. The practice became his sanctuary, a sacred space where truth could emerge unfiltered by the expectations of others. When you enter the realm of inner silence, you open a gateway to self-discovery that no external teacher can provide. Your thoughts, like leaves floating on a still pond, become visible with perfect clarity. In this space of quiet reflection, the wisdom of your heart speaks with unmistakable authority. The practice of inner silence requires nothing more than your willingness to listen. As you cultivate this inner quietude, you begin to recognize the subtle whispers of intuition that often go unheard in the clamor of daily life. Your journal becomes a mirror, reflecting back the deeper truths that emerge from this sacred dialogue with yourself. Anna, a merchant who traveled far and wide, found herself drawn to a remote monastery known for its practice of noble silence. For 7 days, she lived without speaking, allowing the noise of her mind to settle like dust in still air. In that pristine silence, she discovered a wellspring of clarity that transformed her understanding of herself and her place in the world. The answers you seek, the monastery's eldest teacher had written to her, already exist within you. Silence simply creates the space for their discovery. As you journey into the depths of inner silence, you may find that your greatest teacher has always been present, waiting patiently for you to turn inward and listen. This teacher speaks in the language of intuition, of deep knowing that transcends ordinary thought. Ancient practice for inner exploration. Choose a time each day when you can be completely undisturbed. Light a single candle and place your journal before you. Begin by taking 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to carry you deeper into silence. Write without judgment or expectation, letting your thoughts flow naturally onto the page. If you encounter resistance or uncertainty, simply note its presence and continue writing. Your words need not be elegant or profound. Their power lies in their authenticity. Maintain this practice for at least 15 minutes, allowing the rhythm of your writing to guide you into progressively deeper levels of self-awareness. When you finish, close your journal with gratitude for the insights revealed. Let this practice become your daily ritual of self-discovery, a sacred appointment with your inner wisdom. Through consistent dedication to this quiet exploration, you will uncover the profound truths that await within the silence of your own heart. Chapter 7: Choosing Words Wisely. In a village among rolling hills, Dorothy tended her garden, speaking harshly to the young children who trampled her flowers while playing. Her words, sharp as thorns, left invisible wounds that changed how the children saw themselves and their world. As seasons passed, she noticed the children taking longer routes to avoid her garden, their laughter fading from her days. The universe speaks through every word you utter. Each syllable carries the power to create or destroy, to lift spirits or cast shadows. Your words shape not only the world around you, but also the reality within you. When you speak with intention, you align yourself with the creative force that governs all existence. Words possess an energy that ripples through the fabric of reality. Like stones cast into still water, they create patterns that extend far beyond their point of origin. The thoughts you voice become seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness, growing into the circumstances and relationships that surround you. Michael, a teacher in a distant land, learned this truth through bitter experience. One morning, frustrated with a struggling student, he declared before the entire class, "You'll never amount to anything." The words escaped his lips in an instant of anger, but their impact echoed through years. The student, once eager to learn, withdrew into silence, believing the harsh judgment to be true. Years later, Michael encountered his former student, now an adult, carrying the weight of those words like chains. In that moment, Michael understood the awesome responsibility that comes with the power of speech. Through patient dedication, he worked to heal the wound his words had created, speaking with compassion and encouragement until his former student began to believe in possibility once again. Your words hold the power to create new realities. When you speak with awareness, choosing each word with care and compassion, you become a conscious creator of your experience. The universe responds to your intentions, manifesting through the vibrations of your chosen words. Ancient practice for mindful speech. Before words leave your lips, pause to feel their weight and purpose. In this moment of silence, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Let your breath be your anchor, creating space between thought and speech. Feel the energy of your intended words, sensing their potential impact on yourself and others. Only when you have touched the wisdom of silence, let your words flow forth with purpose and grace. This practice transforms ordinary speech into a sacred act of creation, aligning your words with the highest good for all. Through this conscious communion with the power of speech, you become a channel for truth, healing, and transformation. Chapter 8: The Calm Between Thoughts. In the heart of a bustling city, Frank walked through crowded streets, his mind racing with endless thoughts and worries. Each morning, he would rush through his routine, mind cluttered with plans, fears, and endless mental chatter. Until one day, in an unexpected moment of stillness, he discovered something extraordinary: the space between his thoughts. Between each thought lies a gateway to infinite possibility. These spaces, often overlooked in the rush of daily life, hold the key to transformation. When you learn to recognize these intervals of silence, you tap into the wellspring of peace that has always existed within you. Your mind, like the sky, is vast and boundless. Thoughts are merely clouds passing through, some storm clouds, others light and wispy. But the sky itself remains unchanged, ever-present, eternal. In the spaces between thoughts, you touch this unchanging awareness. The ancient masters taught that true wisdom emerges not from accumulating more thoughts, but from discovering the silence that cradles them. Each pause between thoughts offers a glimpse of your essential nature, pure, peaceful, and complete. Betty, a corporate executive, found herself drowning in a sea of endless meetings, deadlines, and responsibilities. Her mind raced constantly, leaving her exhausted and disconnected. One afternoon, while waiting for an elevator, she noticed something unexpected, a brief moment of mental quiet between her rushing thoughts. In that fraction of a second, she experienced a profound peace she hadn't known existed. This discovery led her to cultivate these moments of stillness throughout her day. While others saw only wasted time in waiting rooms or traffic lights, Betty recognized these as opportunities to touch the silence between thoughts. As days passed, she noticed these moments of mental quiet expanding naturally. The spaces between thoughts became refuges of peace in her busy day. Her decisions flowed more easily, her relationships improved, and she found herself moving through life with greater grace and ease. The power to access this inner silence lies within you now. Each space between thoughts offers an invitation to experience the peace that is your natural state. These gaps in mental activity are doorways to the infinite wisdom of the universe. On an ancient practice for mental silence, throughout your day, become aware of the subtle spaces between your thoughts. Don't try to create these spaces. Simply notice them when they naturally occur. You might find them in the pause before speaking, in the moment between waking and rising, or in the stillness before sleep. When you notice these spaces, rest your attention there without trying to fill them. Let each pause be a moment of pure awareness. Notice how these spaces feel: the peace, the clarity, the sense of boundless possibility. This practice requires no special time or place. It can be woven seamlessly into your daily life, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for touching the infinite silence within. Chapter 9: The Hidden Strength. In the halls of a prestigious university, Eleanor moved with quiet grace among her colleagues. While others sought attention through forceful words and grand gestures, she cultivated a presence that spoke volumes through silence. Her leadership style emerged not from loud proclamations, but from the power of mindful observation and thoughtful response. The universe teaches that true power flows not from the noise we make, but from the strength we embody. Like a mountain that stands unmoved by passing storms, authentic leadership radiates from inner stillness. When you align with this truth, your presence naturally commands respect without demanding it. Those who understand this principle recognize that silence carries more weight than 1,000 empty words. In the space of quiet confidence, wisdom flourishes and true authority emerges. Your strength lies not in how much you say, but in the quality of your presence. Samuel, a respected community leader, discovered this truth through experience. In council meetings, while others competed to be heard, he listened intently, speaking only when necessary. His words, emerging from a place of deep understanding, carried weight precisely because they were few. People began to notice that when Samuel spoke, his insights cut through confusion like a beam of light through darkness. Through his example, others learned that leadership flourishes in the soil of quiet confidence. His team grew stronger, not through forceful direction, but through the power of his centered presence. In times of crisis, his calm demeanor became an anchor for those around him. Sacred practice, the silent leader's meditation. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Envision yourself in a situation where you typically feel pressured to speak or assert yourself. Instead of reacting, feel the strength of your silent presence. Notice how this feels in your body. The groundedness, the quiet authority that naturally emerges. Each morning, spend moments in this silent strength. Let it remind you that true power needs no announcement. Your presence, aligned with inner wisdom, speaks more eloquently than words ever could. Through this practice, you will discover that leadership flows naturally from a place of centered silence. Your quiet confidence becomes a beacon, guiding others not through force, but through the power of authentic presence. Chapter 10, Embracing Solitude. In a distant mountain village, Oscar wandered the quiet paths each morning before sunrise. While others slumbered, he discovered treasures in these moments of solitude, insights that remained hidden in the noise of daily life. Through his silent walks, the whispers of the universe became clear, teaching him truths that only emerge in moments of peaceful isolation. Within your being lies a wellspring of wisdom that flows most freely in solitude. Like a still pond that reflects the sky with perfect clarity, your mind reveals its deepest insights when undisturbed by the ripples of external influence. In these sacred moments of aloneness, you connect with the infinite intelligence that resides within. The universe operates through cycles of activity and rest, of engagement and withdrawal. Just as night follows day, periods of solitude naturally complement times of social connection. By honoring this rhythm, you align yourself with the fundamental patterns of existence. Through solitude, you create space for inner transformation. Each moment spent in mindful isolation serves as an opportunity for the soul to speak its truth, unburdened by the expectations and influences of others. In this sacred space, your authentic self emerges with greater clarity. Clara discovered this truth during her retreat to a secluded cabin in the woods. Leaving behind the constant demands of modern life, she found herself immersed in a profound silence. Initially unsettling, this quietude gradually revealed itself as a gateway to unexpected creativity. In the absence of external voices, her own inner voice grew stronger, bringing forth ideas and insights that had long been buried beneath layers of daily noise. As days passed in her woodland sanctuary, Clara noticed her thoughts becoming clearer, like a muddied stream, gradually running pure. The solitude she once feared transformed into a trusted companion, teaching her that true creativity flows not from constant stimulation, but from the fertile ground of quiet contemplation. Sacred practice, the solitude sanctuary. Create a dedicated time and space for solitude each day. Begin with 15 minutes, gradually extending this period as you grow comfortable with being alone. During this time, disconnect from all external communications and simply be present with yourself. Find a quiet place where you can sit undisturbed. Allow your thoughts to settle naturally, like leaves floating down to rest on still waters. Notice the subtle shifts in your awareness as you embrace this sacred solitude. Use this time to connect with your inner wisdom, to reflect on your path, and to nurture the seeds of your aspirations. Let the silence be your teacher, revealing insights that only emerge in moments of quiet contemplation. Remember that solitude is not loneliness. It is a conscious choice to nurture your relationship with yourself. Through regular practice, you will discover that these moments alone become treasured opportunities for growth and renewal. Part 2, Mastering Inner Peace. Chapter 11, The Quiet Mind. In a bustling marketplace, a wise merchant named Grace struggled with an endless stream of thoughts that clouded her judgment and disturbed her peace. Each morning, her mind raced with worries about profits, competition, and future uncertainties. Until one day she encountered an ancient teaching that would transform her understanding of mental tranquility. Your mind, like a restless ocean, often churns with countless thoughts, creating waves of anxiety and unease. Yet within you lies the power to still these waters, to find the serenity that exists beneath the surface of mental activity. This power awakens through the practice of conscious presence. The art of quieting the mind stems from a fundamental truth. Thoughts, like clouds in the sky, naturally come and go. Your true nature is the vast expanse of awareness in which these thoughts appear. By learning to rest in this awareness, you begin to experience the peace that has always been present. When you resist your thoughts, they persist with greater intensity. The key lies not in forcing them to stop, but in allowing them to pass through your consciousness without attachment. Like a witness watching a flowing river, you can observe your thoughts without being swept away by their current. Henry, a successful businessman, discovered this truth during a particularly challenging period in his life. The constant pressure of deadlines and decisions had created a storm of anxiety in his mind. Through dedicated practice, he learned to step back from the whirlwind of thoughts and find refuge in the silence of pure awareness. Each morning, Henry would sit in his garden, allowing his attention to rest on the gentle rhythm of his breath. At first, his mind wandered constantly, but he remained patient, gently returning to his breath whenever he noticed his thoughts had carried him away. Gradually, the gaps between thoughts grew longer, revealing moments of profound stillness. As the weeks passed, Henry noticed a remarkable transformation. The mental clarity he experienced during his morning practice began to extend into his daily activities. Decision-making became more intuitive, and challenges that once seemed overwhelming now appeared manageable. His quiet mind had become a source of strength and wisdom. Sacred practice, the path to mental stillness. Find a comfortable position in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the natural flow of your breath. Notice the sensation of each inhalation and exhalation without trying to change anything. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them gently and return your focus to your breath. Imagine each thought as a leaf floating down a stream, allowing it to pass by without following its path. Rest in the awareness that observes both thoughts and breath. Begin with 5 minutes each morning and gradually extend the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. Remember that the goal is not to eliminate thoughts, but to change your relationship with them. Through consistent practice, you'll discover the profound peace that exists in the spaces between thoughts. Chapter 12, The Power of Reflection. In a quiet corner of his home, Victor maintained a cherished evening ritual. As the world outside settled into darkness, he would light a single candle and open an ancient leather-bound journal, creating a sacred space for reflection. Within you exists an inner sanctuary of wisdom waiting to be accessed through the practice of evening contemplation. This timeless tradition, observed by sages throughout the ages, holds the key to unlocking deeper understanding and personal transformation. The evening hours carry a special power, a natural pause between the activities of day and the stillness of night. In this sacred interval, your mind naturally turns inward, ready to extract meaning from the day's experiences. Like a merchant counting his coins at day's end, you must take stock of the spiritual wealth each day brings. Your experiences, both pleasant and challenging, contain seeds of wisdom waiting to be discovered through conscious reflection. When you dedicate time to examine these experiences with gentle awareness, hidden patterns emerge, revealing profound truths about yourself and your path. Martha, a teacher of young children, discovered this wisdom through her own evening practice. Each night, she would sit by her window, watching the stars emerge as she reviewed her day's journey. She noticed how certain reactions arose in challenging moments, how joy appeared unexpectedly in simple exchanges. Through consistent practice, Martha began to recognize recurring themes in her experiences. She observed how her morning state of mind influenced her entire day, how moments of impatience often preceded valuable lessons in understanding. These insights, gathered quietly in the evening hours, gradually transformed her approach to life. Sacred evening practice. As darkness falls, create a quiet space for yourself. Light a candle if you wish, symbolizing the flame of awareness. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing the day's tensions to dissolve. In your journal, record the significant moments of your day, not merely events, but the feelings, insights, and questions they awakened within you. Note the situations that brought forth strong emotions, the decisions you made, and the wisdom gained through your experiences. Ask yourself, what lessons did the universe offer today? What patterns do I notice in my responses? How have I grown through today's challenges and triumphs? Conclude your reflection by expressing gratitude for the day's teachings, knowing that each experience contributes to your spiritual evolution. Let the insights gained rest in your heart as you prepare for peaceful sleep. Chapter 13. Silence is a tool for clarity. In the bustling marketplace, Albert stood motionless while others rushed about their daily affairs. As a merchant faced with a critical choice about expanding his business, he had learned the value of strategic silence in decision-making. Through silence, you access the deeper chambers of wisdom within. When faced with important decisions, the natural impulse may be to seek endless counsel or become lost in mental chatter. Yet the most potent answers often emerge from the quiet spaces between thoughts. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. In moments of deliberate silence, you allow these subtle messages to surface. Like a still pond reflecting the sky above, a quiet mind mirrors the truth more clearly than waters troubled by constant motion. Your decisions shape the path ahead, yet many choices are made in haste, clouded by the noise of competing voices and opinions. When you cultivate periods of intentional silence, you create space for inner wisdom to emerge. This practice transforms decision-making from a burden into a sacred act of alignment with universal intelligence. Lily, keeper of an ancient library, discovered this truth through her own practice. When tasked with reorganizing centuries of scholarly works, she resisted the urge to immediately begin planning. Instead, she dedicated the first hour of each morning to silent contemplation. In these quiet moments, solutions emerged effortlessly. The perfect organizational system revealed itself not through forced thinking, but through allowing silence to speak. What seemed an overwhelming task transformed into a clear vision, each step illuminated by the light of quiet wisdom. The silent decision practice. Find a space where you will remain undisturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Allow your breathing to find its natural rhythm. As thoughts about your decision arise, observe them without attachment, like clouds passing through a vast sky. Hold your question in your heart without seeking immediate answers. Feel the weight and texture of the decision in your body. Notice any sensations or impressions that arise in the silence. Remain in this quiet state until you sense a shift in your understanding, a deepening clarity that comes not from mental effort, but from aligned wisdom. Let this clarity guide your next steps, knowing that solutions often emerge naturally when given space to unfold. Trust that in silence you access a wisdom greater than intellectual knowledge alone. Your decisions, born from this sacred silence, carry the power of authentic truth. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14, The Essence of Stillness. In a world of perpetual motion, there exists an ancient path to inner harmony, the way of stillness. Through the gentle movements of her morning yoga practice, Natalie discovered a truth that transcends mere physical postures. Each dawn, as she unfurled her mat in the soft morning light, a sacred transformation began. The more she embraced stillness in her body, the more her mind naturally settled into tranquil waters. This physical practice revealed the interconnected nature of body and spirit, movement and stillness. Your body holds wisdom that speaks through stillness. When you allow yourself to become still, layer by layer, the noise of daily life falls away. In these moments of physical quietude, mental clarity emerges like the sun breaking through clouds. The relationship between physical and mental stillness follows universal law. Just as a lake must be still to reflect the sky perfectly, your mind finds clarity through the stillness of your body. This connection has been understood by sages throughout time who recognize that outer stillness cultivates inner peace. George, a craftsman who worked with his hands, struggled with constant tension until he discovered this truth. His days were filled with precise movements and focused attention, yet he found himself unable to truly rest. Through incorporating periods of intentional stillness into his routine, he experienced a profound shift. Each evening, George would sit in his workshop, allowing his body to become completely still. As his physical form settled into quietude, his mind followed suit. The craftsmanship of his work improved not through additional effort, but through the enhanced clarity that stillness provided. The practice of sacred stillness. Begin by finding a comfortable position, either seated or lying down. Allow your body to settle into stillness, beginning with your feet and moving slowly upward. Notice any areas of tension without trying to change them. Simply observe. Let your breath flow naturally, neither controlling nor directing it. Feel the subtle movements of your body with each breath. Maintain this gentle awareness for several minutes, allowing stillness to deepen with each passing moment. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without becoming engaged. Return your attention to the sensation of physical stillness. Notice how mental quietude naturally follows physical stillness, like a shadow following its form. Practice this sacred stillness daily, even if only for a few moments. Through consistent practice, you will discover that stillness becomes not just a state of body, but a way of being, a foundation from which all action can flow with grace and purpose. Chapter 15. Letting Go of the Need to Speak. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Samuel stood amidst the clamor of voices, each merchant vying to be heard above the rest. For years he had been one of them, believing that success came to those who spoke the loudest and most frequently. Yet on this day something shifted within him. As he watched the scene unfold, Samuel noticed an old merchant who rarely spoke, yet whose stall drew the most customers. The old man's silence created a magnetic presence that spoke more eloquently than words ever could. In that moment, Samuel understood a truth that would transform his life. Within you lies the power to choose silence. Each unspoken word can become a seed of peace, each quiet moment a gateway to freedom. The universe whispers its wisdom not through endless chatter, but through the spaces between words. When you release the need to fill every moment with speech, you open yourself to a deeper form of communication. Your energy, unencumbered by constant verbalization, flows more freely. Your presence becomes more authentic, more powerful. Emma, a teacher, discovered this truth in her own journey. Her classroom once echoed with her continuous instruction, leaving little room for her students' growth. Through embracing silence, she transformed her teaching. The quiet spaces she created allowed her students' understanding to blossom naturally. In silence, she noted in her journal, I found my true voice, not the voice that speaks, but the voice that knows when to remain still. The wisdom of silence reveals itself in layers. First comes the physical relief of not having to speak. Then emerges the mental clarity that flows from quiet observation. Finally, you discover the spiritual freedom that comes from releasing the attachment to words. The practice of liberating silence. Begin your day with a period of intentional silence. As thoughts arise, observe them without feeling compelled to voice them. Notice how many thoughts can pass without requiring expression. Throughout your day, pause before speaking. Ask yourself, does this thought need to be voiced? Does this moment require words? Let silence be your default state, speaking only when words truly serve a purpose. Allow yourself to experience the freedom that comes with selective speech. Feel the energy that once went into constant verbalization transform into a quiet power within you. In this practice, you will discover that true liberation often lies not in what you express, but in what you choose to hold in peaceful silence. Chapter 16. The Serenity of Listening. A gentle breeze carried the sound of rustling leaves through the courtyard, where Olivia sat with her elderly neighbor. In the past, she would have filled these moments with her own thoughts and words, eager to share her perspective. But today was different. As her neighbor spoke of days long past, Olivia discovered a profound truth. True listening creates a sacred space where healing unfolds. When you listen with your entire being, time seems to slow. Your breath naturally deepens, your mind clears, and a serene silence envelops your spirit. This silence is not empty. It brims with understanding, compassion, and wisdom. The art of listening extends beyond merely hearing words. It encompasses the subtle vibrations of emotion, the unspoken meanings that hide between phrases, and the deeper truths that emerge when someone feels truly heard. As you cultivate this practice, you'll notice a transformation within yourself and in those around you. Charles, a businessman known for his swift decisions and quick replies, discovered this truth through an unexpected encounter. During a crucial negotiation, his usual strategy of rapid responses failed him. In frustration, he finally fell silent and truly listened to his counterpart. In that moment of genuine attention, not only did the negotiation succeed, but a deeper understanding emerged that transformed their business relationship. The moment I stopped preparing my response and started truly listening, Charles later shared, everything changed. The tension dissolved and solutions appeared naturally. The universe speaks through every soul you encounter. Each person carries a fragment of divine wisdom, waiting to be recognized. When you listen deeply, you become a vessel for this wisdom to flow. Your presence becomes a sanctuary where others feel safe to share their truth. Within the practice of deep listening lies a paradox. By becoming still, you become more fully alive. By emptying yourself of the need to respond, you become filled with understanding. By surrendering the urge to speak, you participate in the most profound form of communication. Ancient practice for cultivating listening serenity. As you enter each conversation, take 3 subtle breaths to center yourself. Allow your entire being to become a listening vessel. Notice the urge to interrupt or formulate responses, and let these impulses gently dissolve. Focus solely on absorbing the words, emotions, and energy being shared. In this sacred space of attention, you'll discover that true serenity flows not from speaking, but from the art of deep listening. Chapter 17, Finding Peace in Quiet Moments. In the soft light of dawn, Benjamin sat by his window, steam rising from his coffee cup like incense in an ancient temple. This simple ritual, practiced each morning before the world stirred to life, held a power that transformed his entire day. The universe whispers its deepest truths not in grand revelations, but in these quiet moments woven into the fabric of daily life. Each pause, each breath, each moment of stillness carries the potential for profound transformation. When you learn to recognize and honor these sacred spaces in your day, you open yourself to a continuous stream of peace. The true masters of inner peace understand that enlightenment need not be sought in distant mountains or sacred temples. It resides in the spaces between your thoughts, in the gentle transition from one moment to the next. These intervals of quiet become portals to deeper understanding. In the bustling streets of her city, Harriet discovered this timeless truth. As a gallery curator, her days once rushed by in a blur of appointments and decisions, yet through conscious attention to life's natural pauses, she transformed her experience. While arranging artwork, she learned to appreciate the silence between movements. During her walk to work, she savored the rhythm of her footsteps. Even in meetings, she found precious moments of quiet between conversations. The peace was always there, Harriet realized. I simply needed to attune myself to its presence in everyday moments. These pockets of tranquility exist everywhere in your daily life. The space between putting down your keys and opening your door. The quiet moment before taking your first sip of tea. The pause before responding to a question. Each represents an opportunity to touch the infinite within the ordinary. Think of these moments not as gaps to be filled, but as sacred spaces where your spirit can breathe. Like dewdrops reflecting the morning sun, they hold the potential to illuminate your entire day with their quiet radiance. Ancient practice for daily peace. Begin by identifying 3 regular activities in your day. Perhaps preparing breakfast, walking to your car, or washing dishes. Transform these ordinary moments into ceremonies of mindfulness. Feel the weight of objects in your hands. Notice the sensation of movement. Observe the play of light and shadow. Let each activity become a meditation, a sanctuary of peace in the flow of your day. Through this practice, you'll discover that tranquility isn't something to achieve, but rather a presence to recognize in every moment. Chapter 18. The Balance of Speaking and Silence. In a remote mountain village, there lived a wise woman named Sophia, who spoke rarely, but whose words carried the weight of mountains. When she did speak, villagers gathered close, knowing each syllable held purpose and meaning. Yet it was her silence that taught the greatest lesson. The art of balancing speech and silence resembles the natural rhythm of breathing. Both inhale and exhale serve essential purposes. Just as nature maintains perfect equilibrium between day and night, sound and stillness, you too must find harmony between expression and quiet contemplation. Your words carry power, power to heal or harm, to build or break, to illuminate or obscure. Each utterance ripples through the universe, creating vibrations that shape reality itself. Yet silence holds equal power, offering space for wisdom to emerge and truth to surface. Consider Daniel, a respected mediator whose practice demanded mastery of this delicate balance. In his early career, he filled every moment with words, believing his value lay in constant contribution. Through experience, he discovered that his most powerful interventions often came through strategic silence. During a particularly challenging negotiation between 2 business partners, Daniel sat quietly as tensions rose. Rather than rushing to fill the uncomfortable pause with suggestions, he allowed the silence to work its magic. In that space, both parties found their way to understanding, reaching solutions that might never have emerged amid a flood of words. I realized, Daniel later shared, that my silence created space for wisdom greater than my own to emerge. This balance manifests differently in each situation. Sometimes wisdom calls for bold speech, for truth spoken with conviction. Other times, it beckons you to hold your peace, allowing understanding to unfold naturally. The key lies not in rigid rules about when to speak or stay silent, but in developing the discernment to recognize what each moment requires. Ancient practice for speech and silence. Throughout your day, pause before each interaction. Take 3 conscious breaths. Ask yourself, will my words add value to this moment? Will silence serve better? Notice the subtle signals, the energy of the situation, the readiness of others to hear, the stirring of wisdom within. When you speak, let your words rise from this place of mindful awareness. When you choose silence, let it be active and purposeful. Through this practice, your communication becomes not a habit but a sacred art, each word and each silence a conscious offering to the greater good. Chapter 19. The Quiet Leader. In the bustling heart of a thriving enterprise, Thomas moved through the corridors with a quiet grace that commanded attention without demanding it. His presence carried weight not through proclamations or speeches, but through the steady rhythm of his actions. Each morning he arrived before sunrise, silently preparing the day's work, creating an environment where excellence naturally flourished. The true power of leadership flows not from words alone, but from the unwavering alignment between thought, action, and purpose. Like a deep river that shapes the landscape without noise, your influence as a leader stems from the depth of your character rather than the volume of your voice. Margaret, who guided a small artisan workshop, understood this truth intimately. When faced with a challenging project, she didn't call meetings or issue directives. Instead, she quietly took her place at the workbench alongside her team. Her focused dedication spoke volumes, inspiring others to match her standard of excellence. Without a word, she transformed the workshop's culture through her embodied wisdom. Your greatest impact as a leader emerges not from what you say, but from who you are. Each action, each decision, each moment of presence weaves into the fabric of your leadership. Through mindful choices and purposeful silence, you create a field of influence that transcends the need for constant verbal direction. As you step into leadership roles, remember that your presence speaks louder than any proclamation. Your calm demeanor during challenges, your thoughtful approach to decisions, your willingness to work alongside others. These silent qualities create ripples of positive change throughout your sphere of influence. Ancient practice for quiet leadership. Begin each day by centering yourself in silence as you move through your responsibilities. Let your actions flow from this place of inner stillness. When challenges arise, pause before responding. Let your presence and actions guide others, speaking only when words truly serve the highest good. Through this practice, you'll discover that true leadership often requires no words at all. Chapter 20. Cultivating Inner Harmony. In a small garden among ancient trees, Isabel sat in the gentle morning light. Each day, she wove together different threads of practice into a tapestry of inner peace. Through meditation, she stilled her mind. Through journaling, she explored her depths. Through mindful breathing, she anchored herself in the present moment. The path to harmony flows through many channels. Just as a symphony requires various instruments playing in concert, your inner peace emerges from the harmonious blend of different practices. Each method serves its unique purpose, yet together they create something greater than their individual parts. When you breathe mindfully, you connect with the eternal rhythm of life. When you write in your journal, you give voice to your innermost truths. When you sit in meditation, you touch the infinite silence that dwells within. These practices, when united, form a complete circle of self-discovery and inner growth. Edward, a craftsman who spent years perfecting his art, discovered this truth through his own journey. Each morning, he began with gentle stretches, followed by breathing exercises. Throughout the day, he paused to write his reflections in a small notebook. In the evening, he sat in meditation, allowing the day's experiences to settle like leaves floating to the bottom of a clear pond. Through this dedicated practice, Edward's life transformed. His work became more refined, his relationships deeper, his presence more grounded. He hadn't changed his external circumstances. He had changed his inner landscape. The wisdom of cultivating inner harmony lies not in perfecting any single practice, but in allowing multiple approaches to complement and strengthen each other. Like a garden that thrives through diverse plantings, your inner world flourishes when nurtured through varied means. Ancient practice for inner harmony. Begin your day with 10 minutes of mindful breathing, focusing on the natural rhythm of your breath. Later, spend 15 minutes writing in your journal, exploring your thoughts and feelings without judgment. End your day with a period of meditation, allowing all practices to blend into a unified experience of inner peace. Maintain this trinity of practices daily, adjusting the duration and sequence to suit your natural rhythm. Part 3. Transformative Silence. Chapter 21. The Depths of Stillness. Along a mountain path, Laura walked toward a remote sanctuary where silence reigned supreme. The ancient stones whispered stories of countless souls who had discovered their truth in stillness. For 30 days, she would join this timeless tradition, stepping away from the noise of modern life into the sacred realm of deep silence. Within stillness lies a gateway to transformation that cannot be accessed through ordinary means. When you allow yourself to sink beneath the surface of everyday consciousness, you enter dimensions of awareness that remain hidden in the busy world. Like a lake that reveals its depths only when its surface grows completely still, your inner wisdom emerges in profound silence. The universe speaks in whispers that can only be heard when all other voices fade. In extended periods of stillness, these whispers grow clearer, carrying messages that can reshape your entire understanding of existence. This is not the fleeting quiet of a morning meditation, but the sustained silence that strips away layers of conditioning to reveal your essential nature. Robert discovered this truth during his retreat in a mountain monastery. For the first week, his mind buzzed with unresolved thoughts and emotions. Yet as days passed in silence, these mental storms gradually subsided. In their wake emerged a clarity he had never known. The stillness revealed insights that transformed not just his perspective, but the very foundation of his being. On the 20th day of his retreat, while sitting in the pre-dawn darkness, Robert experienced a profound shift. The boundary between inner and outer silence dissolved. In that moment, he understood that stillness was not merely the absence of noise, but the presence of something vast and infinite. This realization changed everything: how he viewed himself, others, and the nature of existence itself. Through sustained stillness, you access wisdom that cannot be found in books or teachings. This wisdom rises naturally when you create space for it to emerge. Like a seed that requires darkness and quiet to sprout, your deepest insights need the nurturing environment of extended silence to fully blossom. The transformative power of stillness operates on its own timeline. It cannot be rushed or forced. Just as a forest takes years to recover its natural balance after a disturbance, your inner landscape requires extended periods of quiet to reveal its full depth and beauty. Ancient practice for deep transformation. Set aside time for an extended retreat into silence. Begin with a weekend of solitude, gradually working up to longer periods. Find a secluded location, a retreat center, a cabin in nature, or a quiet room in your home. Minimize external stimulation, including reading and writing. Simply rest in stillness, allowing each moment to unfold naturally. Let the silence work its magic without seeking particular experiences or insights. Trust that the stillness itself is the teacher, revealing what you need to know in its own perfect timing. Chapter 22. Silent Resilience. In a bustling marketplace, a merchant named Peter lost his entire fortune in a single day. As others around him wailed and cursed their fate when faced with similar misfortune, Peter maintained his composure, meeting adversity with unwavering silence. Each morning, he reopened his modest stall, working diligently without uttering a word of complaint. When you embrace silence in the face of challenges, you tap into a wellspring of inner strength that transcends ordinary resilience. The universe responds differently to those who bear their burdens quietly, for in silence lies a power that surpasses the temporary relief of vocal protest. Silent resilience builds an unshakable foundation within your spirit. Each moment you choose quiet perseverance over complaint, you forge inner strength that no external circumstance can diminish. This sacred practice transforms obstacles into opportunities for spiritual growth, turning life's trials into stepping stones toward higher consciousness. Alice discovered this truth during a year of unprecedented hardship. When her business crumbled and health faltered, she chose the path of silent determination. Rather than sharing her struggles, she channeled her energy inward, allowing the silence to strengthen her resolve. Day by day, her quiet persistence attracted subtle signs of support from the universe. In moments when others expected her to crumble, Alice's silence spoke volumes. Her unwavering spirit drew mysterious allies into her path. Without seeking sympathy or attention, she found that solutions emerged naturally, as if summoned by the pure energy of her silent determination. The greatest transformations often occur in silence, like a seed pushing through soil without a sound. Your resilience grows stronger when nurtured in quiet determination. Each silent moment of perseverance adds another layer to your inner fortress, building a strength that radiates from within. Your response to life's challenges shapes your destiny. When you choose silent resilience over vocal resistance, you align with the universe's natural flow. This alignment creates a harmonious path through difficulties, allowing solutions to emerge organically from the depths of your quiet strength. Ancient practice for building silent resilience: when facing challenges, retreat into intentional silence. Rather than voicing complaints or seeking sympathy, channel your energy into quiet determination. Breathe deeply and imagine each breath strengthening your inner core. As thoughts of struggle arise, let them pass without giving them voice. Practice this silent resilience for increasingly longer periods, allowing your quiet strength to grow naturally. Trust that your silent perseverance speaks more powerfully than any words of protest could express. Chapter 23, The Quiet Path to Success. In the heart of a small trading village, Martha crafted intricate tapestries, each thread woven with silent dedication. While other artisans announced their talents with grand proclamations, she focused solely on perfecting her craft. Her quiet commitment spoke through the excellence of her work, attracting those who recognized true mastery. The path to achievement flows most naturally when walked in silence. Like water finding its course through stone, quiet persistence carries you toward your aspirations with gentle yet unstoppable force. Your energy, preserved through silence rather than scattered through proclamation, becomes a concentrated stream of creative power. Within this silence lies a magnetic force that draws success naturally toward you. When you release the need to trumpet your progress, you create space for your achievements to speak for themselves. This sacred approach aligns you with the universe's subtle currents, allowing opportunities to flow effortlessly into your path. The wisdom of ages teaches that true power moves quietly. Each silent step forward builds momentum that carries you closer to your destiny. By choosing steady progress over loud declarations, you tap into an ancient force that has guided countless souls to their highest potential. George embodied this truth throughout his journey in the Merchants Guild. Starting as a humble apprentice, he devoted himself to mastering every aspect of his trade without seeking attention. While others competed for recognition, he focused on developing his skills in quiet dedication. Year after year, his silent expertise grew until the quality of his work became impossible to ignore. His advancement came naturally, flowing from the depths of his quiet competence rather than from self-promotion. Leaders sought his counsel not because he demanded attention, but because his silent mastery radiated wisdom that others instinctively trusted. In the realm of genuine achievement, silence becomes your most powerful ally. Like the roots of a mighty tree growing unseen beneath the earth, your quiet dedication creates an unshakable foundation for success. This foundation, built in silence, supports achievements that stand the test of time. Ancient practice for silent achievement. Begin each morning by setting your intention in silence. Throughout the day, channel your energy into actions rather than announcements. When progress comes, acknowledge it quietly within yourself. Continue your work with unwavering focus and serene determination, letting the fruits of your labor ripple outward like gentle waves across still waters. Trust in the profound truth that your silent dedication weaves an invisible tapestry of power, creating ripples of influence far more lasting and transformative than the loudest proclamations. In the sacred space of quiet perseverance, you align with the ancient rhythms of creation, allowing your authentic light to naturally illuminate the path for others. Your consistent, mindful effort generates an energy more potent than any momentary fanfare. It is the quiet force that moves mountains and shapes destinies. Chapter 24, Embracing the Unknown in Silence. Along a winding mountain path, a wise merchant named Henry traveled with his caravan. When storm clouds gathered unexpectedly, his companions grew anxious, voicing their fears about the treacherous journey ahead. Yet Henry remained serene, meeting nature's uncertainty with quiet acceptance. The unknown stands before you as a doorway to infinite possibilities. When you approach it in silence, you discover a profound truth. Acceptance of uncertainty creates its own form of certainty. Like a still pond that reflects the sky above, your quiet mind becomes a mirror for understanding life's mysteries. Within the realm of the unknown lies a sacred teaching. Silence serves as your steadfast companion through life's uncertainties. When you release the need to predict or control what lies ahead, you tap into a wellspring of inner peace that transcends circumstance. This ancient wisdom reveals that true power resides not in knowing all answers, but in maintaining stillness amid questions. Your relationship with uncertainty transforms through silent acceptance. Rather than struggling against what cannot be known, you learn to float upon its currents with grace. This practice aligns you with the natural flow of existence, where every moment unfolds in perfect timing. In a bustling marketplace, Clara faced the dissolution of her family's trading business. Instead of fighting against changing times with desperate words and actions, she met each challenge with quiet observation. Through silence, she discovered opportunities hidden within the uncertainty. Her still mind became fertile ground for innovative solutions to emerge. As she navigated unknown waters, Clara's silent strength drew others toward her. Her peaceful presence amid chaos inspired confidence in those around her. Without speaking of her plans, she rebuilt her business in new ways, allowing transformation to unfold naturally through patient observation and quiet action. This way of moving through uncertainty echoes the wisdom of countless generations. Just as the night sky holds both darkness and stars, the unknown contains both challenges and gifts. Your silent acceptance creates space for these gifts to reveal themselves in their own time. Ancient practice for embracing uncertainty. When facing the unknown, pause and enter into silence. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet while acknowledging the mystery before you. Breathe deeply into any discomfort, allowing it to dissolve into quiet acceptance. Move forward with each step grounded in present awareness, neither rushing ahead in anxiety nor holding back in fear. Let silence be your guide through uncertainty, trusting in its power to reveal the path forward. Chapter 25, The Wisdom of Unspoken Thoughts. In ancient times, a young weaver named Evelyn spent her days crafting intricate tapestries. While others marveled at her work and asked about her techniques, she kept her creative process hidden within. Through silence, patterns emerged in her mind with perfect clarity, untouched by the need for explanation. The universe speaks through the quiet chambers of your mind. Within the depths of your unspoken thoughts lies a wellspring of wisdom waiting to be discovered. When you release the compulsion to voice every insight, you allow your inner knowing to crystallize into pure understanding. Your thoughts, like precious gems, need not be displayed to hold their value. The most powerful realizations often come in moments of complete silence, when your mind settles into its natural state of clarity. By honoring these quiet revelations, you tap into a deeper current of wisdom that flows beneath the surface of ordinary consciousness. In the tranquil hours of dawn, Samuel walked through his garden, contemplating a decision that would alter the course of his life. Instead of seeking counsel from others, he turned inward, listening to the subtle whispers of his heart. As morning light filtered through the leaves, understanding dawned within him, clear, certain, and completely wordless. Through silent contemplation, he discovered that wisdom often reveals itself most fully when held in the sacred space of silence. His unspoken understanding guided his actions with a sureness that no amount of discussion could have provided. The art of keeping counsel with oneself echoes an ageless truth. Not every pearl of wisdom needs to be cast into the world. Some insights serve their highest purpose by remaining within, shaping your actions and decisions from a place of quiet knowing. Ancient practice for accessing inner wisdom. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and allow your thoughts to settle like leaves floating down to rest on still waters. Notice the wisdom that emerges naturally when you release the need to speak or explain. Let your inner knowing unfold in its own time like a lotus flower, gradually opening its petals to the morning sun. Trust that the most profound insights often come wrapped in silence, emerging from the depths of your consciousness like precious gems rising from still waters. Hold these revelations gently within your heart, as delicate as morning dew, knowing that their true power lies not in their outward expression, but in their quiet integration into the very fabric of your being. Just as a seed transforms silently beneath the earth before breaking through to the light, allow these sacred truths to take root in the fertile soil of your spirit, nurturing them in the sanctuary of your inner temple until they naturally blossom into lived wisdom. Chapter 26, The Quiet Transformation. Through patience and unwavering dedication to silence, transformation unfolds like a flower opening to the morning sun. Within you lies the seed of change, waiting only for the nurturing soil of stillness to flourish. In the heart of an ancient monastery, Anna discovered that transformation requires no grand gestures or proclamations. Each morning, she sat in silence as the sun painted golden patterns across stone walls. At first, her mind raced with countless thoughts like leaves scattered in an autumn wind. Yet she remained steadfast, returning day after day to her practice of stillness. As weeks turned to months, subtle shifts began to emerge within her being. The space between her thoughts grew wider, like clearings in a dense forest. Her reactions to daily challenges softened, replaced by a gentle awareness that seemed to arise from nowhere and everywhere at once. Those around her noticed the change, not in what she said, but in what she didn't say, in the quality of her presence that spoke volumes without words. The universe operates in whispers, not shouts. Your transformation follows this same sacred principle. Each moment of chosen silence builds upon the last, creating an invisible foundation of inner strength. This is the alchemy of quiet change, a process so subtle it often goes unnoticed until you find yourself standing in a new reality, wondering how you arrived there. Thomas, a merchant known for his hasty words, embraced the discipline of silence during his morning walks through the marketplace. Day by day, he learned to observe rather than react, to feel rather than speak. His transformation manifested not in dramatic revelations, but in the growing peace that emanated from his being. Customers who once braced themselves for sharp negotiations found instead a man whose quiet dignity invited trust and respect. The power of sustained silence lies not in its immediate effects, but in its cumulative impact on your consciousness. Like water slowly shaping stone, regular practice of mindful silence sculpts your awareness into new forms. You need not force this process or measure its progress. Simply maintain your commitment to the practice, trusting in the wisdom of silence to guide your transformation. Ancient practice for silent transformation. Begin each day with a period of complete silence as you sit in stillness. Allow your breath to become your anchor. Notice the thoughts that arise without following them. Feel the spaciousness that exists between each breath, between each thought. Carry this practice forward into your daily activities, weaving threads of inner silence through each moment as you move through the world. Whether you find yourself in bustling streets or quiet corridors, maintain that sacred stillness within, like a deep, still pool beneath turbulent waters. Let this conscious cultivation of silence be your daily offering to the universe, creating a hallowed space in your being where transformation can unfold naturally, like a flower opening to the morning sun. This gentle surrender, free from force or expectation, becomes the fertile soil from which new realities spring forth, nourished by the quiet wisdom that dwells in the depths of your soul. Chapter 27, Silence in Relationships. A gardener knows that the most beautiful flowers grow in moments of stillness, nourished by silent devotion. So too do your relationships blossom when given the gift of mindful silence. In a world filled with endless chatter, Linda discovered that true connection often emerges in the spaces between words. She noticed how her conversations had become an endless exchange of reactions, each person waiting for their turn to speak rather than truly listening. One evening, during dinner with her closest friend, she chose to simply listen, not planning her response, not filling every pause. In that sacred silence, she witnessed how her friend's words carried deeper meanings, subtle emotions that had always been present but overlooked in the rush to respond. The universe speaks through silence, teaching us that the strongest bonds form not in the constant exchange of words, but in the quiet moments of shared presence. When you release the need to fill every moment with speech, you create space for understanding to flourish naturally. David, a teacher, transformed his classroom dynamics by embracing purposeful silence. Rather than immediately answering students' questions, he learned to pause, allowing thoughts to settle like leaves on still water. This practice rippled through his relationships outside the classroom. His marriage deepened as he learned to sit with his wife's concerns without rushing to offer solutions. Their evenings together became peaceful sanctuaries of understanding, where silence spoke louder than words. The wisdom of silence in relationships manifests when you trust that not every thought needs expression. Not every emotion requires immediate voice. Like the space between musical notes that creates melody, the mindful silence between words creates harmony in your connections with others. Ancient practice for relationship silence. Choose one important relationship in your life. During your next interaction, practice the art of sacred silence. Listen not just with your ears, but with your entire being. Allow 3 breaths to pass before responding to what is shared. Notice how this simple practice transforms the quality of your connection. Let silence become the foundation upon which your relationships rest, creating space for deeper understanding to emerge naturally. Chapter 28. The Quiet Mind in a Noisy World. In ancient times, a master taught that true peace flows not from the absence of storms, but from finding stillness within them. This truth echoes through the ages, speaking to those who seek tranquility in tumultuous times. Kevin walked through the bustling marketplace, surrounded by a symphony of competing sounds, vendors calling their wares, children laughing, wheels rattling on cobblestones. Yet within him, a gentle silence prevailed. Through years of practice, he had cultivated an inner sanctuary that remained undisturbed by external chaos. The universe teaches that your mind, like water, reflects whatever passes above it. When the water is still, it mirrors reality with perfect clarity. When disturbed, it distorts all it reflects. This principle guides the path to maintaining inner quiet amidst life's storms. Your thoughts, like clouds in the sky, need not disturb your inner atmosphere. They may pass overhead, casting temporary shadows, but the vast space of consciousness remains unchanged. This truth reveals itself when you learn to observe without attachment. Betty, who managed a busy hospital ward, embodied this wisdom daily. While alarms blared and emergencies demanded attention, she moved with steady grace, her actions flowing from a place of deep quiet. Her colleagues marveled at her unshakable presence, not realizing that her outer calm emerged from her cultivated inner stillness. The secret lies not in escaping chaos, but in discovering the silence that exists beneath it. Like the depths of the ocean remain still, while storms rage above, your inner quiet persists independent of external circumstances. This understanding transforms how you move through the world. Ancient practice for preserving inner quiet. Begin each morning by sitting in stillness for 3 breaths. Throughout the day, when surrounded by noise and activity, return to this practice. Feel your feet connecting with the earth. Draw your attention to the space between your thoughts. Let external sounds pass through your awareness without resistance, like birds gliding effortlessly across an endless azure sky. Each sound, whether harsh or melodious, moves through the vast expanse of your consciousness without leaving a trace, just as birds make no mark upon the heavens. Notice how your inner quiet remains unchanged, an eternal presence beneath life's ever-shifting surface. A bottomless well of tranquility that exists independent of the world's clamor. The chaos of daily life may swirl around you like autumn leaves in a windstorm, yet your core essence stays serene and unmoved. Practice this awareness throughout your days during moments of both turmoil and calm until it becomes your natural state of being. This steadfast equanimity will allow you to maintain profound peace regardless of external circumstances, much like a mountain stands unmoved while storms rage around its peaks. Chapter 29, Silent Gratitude. In a small mountain village, a wise woman once taught that the most precious jewels remain hidden in the earth, much like the deepest gratitude often dwells silently in the heart. Sophia awakened each morning before sunrise, sitting quietly by her window. Rather than speaking her appreciation aloud, she allowed gratitude to flow through her being like a gentle stream. With each breath, she acknowledged life's gifts without uttering a word, discovering that unexpressed thankfulness carried a unique power to transform her inner landscape. The universe operates through subtle vibrations, and gratitude need not be proclaimed to resonate with its divine frequency. When you cultivate appreciation in silence, you align with the natural order that sustains all life without fanfare. Like a flower blooming in a hidden valley, your gratitude becomes more pure and potent when held in sacred silence. Your relationship with abundance deepens through quiet recognition. Each moment contains countless blessings awaiting your awareness. By acknowledging them silently, you create an intimate dialogue with the universe that transcends the limitations of spoken language. Edward discovered this truth through his daily ritual of silent appreciation. Each evening, he would sit in his garden, allowing gratitude to fill his heart without speaking a word. As seasons passed, this practice transformed his experience of life. The simple act of breathing became a joy, each moment an opportunity to silently celebrate existence itself. His presence radiated contentment that touched all who encountered him, though he never spoke of his practice. The power of unspoken gratitude lies in its ability to change your vibration without external validation. Like a seed growing beneath the soil, silent appreciation nurtures your spirit in ways that verbal expression cannot match. Ancient practice for silent gratitude. As the sun rises or sets, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Place your hands over your heart and close your eyes. Allow your breath to become slow and steady. With each inhale, bring to mind something that fills you with appreciation. Rather than naming it aloud, let the feeling of gratitude spread through your body like warm sunlight. Continue this practice for several minutes, allowing each blessing to register deeply in your being without the need for words. Let your silent appreciation become a sacred offering to the universe, a profound and intimate communion with the infinite. Feel how this wordless gratitude flows from your heart like an eternal spring, touching the very fabric of existence. Each moment of quiet thankfulness becomes a divine exchange, a pure vibration that ripples through the cosmos, acknowledging not just life's endless gifts, but the miraculous dance of creation itself. In this sacred silence, you align with the deepest currents of universal abundance, allowing your being to become a living prayer of appreciation. Chapter 30. The journey continues in silence. Along an ancient trade route, a merchant carried not gold or spices, but a simple truth learned through years of travel. The deeper one ventures into silence, the more it reveals. The path of silence unfolds endlessly before you, each step revealing new dimensions of understanding. Like water flowing through hidden caverns, silence shapes your consciousness in ways that become apparent only through patient observation. Your journey into stillness mirrors the eternal cycles of nature. There is no final destination, only continuous unfolding. Within the depths of quiet contemplation lies an infinite well of wisdom. As you progress along this sacred path, you discover that silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a living presence that teaches without words. Each moment of stillness carries the potential for deeper revelation. Mark began his journey viewing silence as a temporary refuge from life's chaos. Yet as seasons turned, he recognized that silence had become his most trusted teacher. In moments of uncertainty, he turned inward, finding guidance in the quiet spaces between thoughts. Through daily practice, he learned that silence was not a destination to reach, but a companion walking beside him on life's path. The mystery of silence continues to unfold before you like a scroll of ancient wisdom. Each practice reveals new layers of understanding. Each moment of quiet contemplation opens doors previously unseen. The journey never truly ends. It simply deepens, offering fresh insights as your awareness expands. Emma discovered this truth through unwavering dedication to her practice. Rising before dawn, she embraced the sacred silence of early morning. Years passed, yet each day brought new revelations. The stillness that once felt foreign became as natural as breathing, yet never ceased to teach her. Through consistent practice, she found that silence remained an inexhaustible source of wisdom and renewal. Ancient practice for continuing the journey. Find a peaceful spot in nature where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to settle naturally. Rather than seeking specific outcomes, simply rest in awareness of the present moment. Notice how silence holds you, teaches you, guides you forward. Let each breath be an affirmation of your commitment to this eternal journey. Remain here for as long as feels natural, knowing that each moment of practice plants seeds for future growth. This simple ritual, repeated regularly, sustains your evolution on the path of silence. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The wisdom you have uncovered through these chapters represents not an end, but a beginning. As you stand at this threshold of understanding, recognize that the art of maintaining silence transcends mere quietude. It opens doorways to universal consciousness and self-mastery. Through your journey into stillness, you have learned that true power lies not in constant expression, but in mindful restraint. The universe speaks most clearly when you create space to listen. Your practice of silence has revealed itself as a gateway to deeper awareness, showing you that within the quiet lies all the guidance you seek. By embracing moments of stillness, you align with the natural rhythms of existence. Just as the earth knows periods of quiet regeneration, your own being flourishes in the fertile soil of silence. This practice becomes your sanctuary, a sacred space where wisdom flows freely and clarity emerges without effort. The relationships in your life transform when cultivated in the garden of mindful silence. Like a still pond that perfectly reflects the sky above, your quiet presence allows others to see themselves more clearly. In this space of non-judgment and peaceful attention, connections deepen and understanding flourishes naturally. Your journey with silence has equipped you with tools for navigating life's challenges with grace. You now understand that response need not be immediate, that wisdom often emerges from the pause between stimulus and reaction. This mastery of restraint becomes your strength, allowing you to move through the world with purpose and clarity. Remember that each moment of chosen silence represents an investment in your inner growth. The practices you have learned serve as touchstones, guiding you back to center when the world grows loud. Your commitment to mindful living through silence creates ripples of positive change, touching all aspects of your existence. The power of silence now resides within you as a constant companion, ready to offer its gifts whenever you choose to access it. Let this understanding be your foundation as you continue to explore the depths of mindful living and conscious communication. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.